Good morning. Today is Monday, October 6, 2025. This is the Urban Hope Refuge Morning Devotions. We are continuing our reading today from the 2025 Daily Bible Reading Guide, sponsored, published by the American Bible Society. For the month of October, we are focusing on the theme God's strengthening word, pursuing peace and justice. And today I'm reading from Psalm 97 in the New Living Translation. Before I begin the reading, I just want to share with you how joyful we are in the Urban Hope Refuge family. For 2 to 3 weeks ago, one of the sisters of Urban Hope Refuge was caught in a shooting, a violent shooting in the area of our church. Shot 3 times, twice under the chin and in her shoulder. And the bullet went through her shoulder and came out the other side. As pastor and the youth pastor were called to the hospital to see her, pastor shared with the youth pastor that in the city of Hartford, that 80% of the people who are involved in gun violence do not survive. By the grace of God, this sister was in the 20% that did survive. And guess what? Yesterday, she walked up to the church, and I said to her, "Come and let me give this miracle a hug." God is so good to us. And I just felt so overwhelmed with that I just needed to share it. We're reading from Psalm 97. And this particular passage of Psalm teaches that the Lord reigns sovereignly over the universe. And that is a truth that should bring gladness and joy to his people. This psalm emphasizes God's overwhelming power, respected by dramatic natural things like clouds, like lightning, and melting mountains, and I gotta say, and bullets that are going astray. So a central theme is God's perfect justice and righteousness, which form the foundation of his throne. Verse 1, the Lord is king. Let the earth rejoice. Let the farthest coastlands be glad. Dark clouds surround him. Righteousness and justice are the foundation of his throne. Fire spreads ahead of him and burns up all his foes. His lightning flashes out across the world. The earth sees and trembles. The mountains melt like wax before the Lord of all the earth. The heavens proclaim his righteousness. Every nation sees his glory. Those who worship idols are disgraced. All who brag about their worthless gods, for every god must bow to him. Jerusalem has heard and rejoiced, and all the towns of Judah are glad because of your justice, O Lord. For you, O Lord, are supreme over all the earth. You are exalted far above all gods. You who love the Lord hate evil. He protects the lives of his godly people and rescues them from the power of the wicked. Light shines on the godly and joy on those whose hearts are right. May all who are godly rejoice in the Lord and praise his holy name. This concludes our reading of Psalm 97. Now, there are some key themes and lessons in Psalm 97. One of the key themes is that God's reign and sovereignty. He is the King of Kings, and he is the sovereign God. So Psalm 97 is a powerful declaration of God's sovereignty, of God's righteousness, and God's justice. It celebrates the truth that the Lord reigns over all the earth and calls his people to rejoice. He calls us to rejoice. He calls us to worship him and to live rightly in response. A second theme is the awe-inspiring power of God. God's presence is described with powerful imagery, the way it's presented to us: clouds, darkness, consuming fire, and lightning that causes the earth to tremble. Even mountains melt like wax before him, all of this symbolizes his overwhelming power. Another theme is righteousness and justice. And as we look at our theme, we are pursuing peace and justice. The foundation of God's throne is righteousness and justice, the very foundation of his throne. Righteousness and justice. His divine nature is a testament to his character, and his righteousness is proclaimed to all of his people. We hear a lot about justice today, social justice, but let me tell you that justice reflects God's nature. Justice is central to who God is, and Isaiah 30:18 declares, "For the Lord is a God of justice. Blessed are all who wait for him." And then Psalm 89:14 proclaims, "Righteousness and justice are the foundation of his throne." In the Bible, justice and righteousness often appear together. Why? Because they describe God's perfect moral order. Morality today. Think about morality today. But God told us what to do. It says that his justice and his righteousness describe his perfect moral order. God's justice means he acts rightly, he defends the oppressed, and he corrects the wrongs. Justice reflects God's nature. Justice involves fairness and equality. It means giving each person what they are due without favoritism, without oppression or corruption. I want to repeat that. Justice involves fairness and equity. Justice means giving each person what they are due, and you give it to them without favoritism, without oppression, and without corruption. Don't pervert justice. Don't show partiality to the poor or favoritism to the great, but judge your neighbor fairly, according to Leviticus 19:5. Learn to do right, seek justice, and we are called to defend the oppressed, according to Isaiah 1:17. So, in the description of justice that I shared with you, it shows us that justice isn't just about the law. It's as simple as this. Justice is about how we treat people, especially the vulnerable. That's why we are always out doing for people in our community, because we're in our churches located in a community that is considered to be a food desert. There's a scarcity of food in our area. No grocery stores easily accessible by the community. Often you see homeless people on the street. Sometimes when I'm driving through Hartford, the bus stop shelters, you see people in those shelters with all of their earthly belongings in a cart with them. And we are called to treat people, especially the vulnerable, to treat them with love and with justice. So Psalm 97 is a powerful declaration of God's sovereignty, of God's righteousness, and of God's justice. Let me go just a little bit further with this as we are coming to a close of our devotion for this morning. Share with you the fact again that justice isn't just about law. You see people on the news being interviewed, and they'll share with you a family member has been harmed or taken from them because of an act performed by someone else, and they will say to you, we want to see justice. It's not just about the law. It is not just about the law. So we need to take up the cause of the fatherless. So many children that are without their parents. The Urban Hope Refuge Church for the past 15 to 20 years has engaged in the Angel Tree Ministry with the International Prison Fellowship, where a parent, or in some cases both parents, are incarcerated. We purchase gifts. We find individuals that will purchase gifts for children at Christmas because their parents are incarcerated. Defend the oppressed. Take up the cause of the fatherless. About 2.5 weeks ago, I stocked my garage with 504 new coats for children, London fog coats. Go after every charity I can find to be a blessing, defending the oppressed, taking up the cause of the fatherless, and pleading the case of the widows. This is our word of pursuing peace and justice. Psalm 97 is a powerful declaration of God's sovereignty, God's justice, and God's righteousness. And he calls us to celebrate this truth, for it is a truth that God reigns and that there is no other God like our God. I pray that these words bless you today, and I challenge you to pray your way through the day. Walk with the King and be a blessing.